Hello, my name is Stephen Alf and welcome to part 7 of a 12-part wrap-up. So let's look at the stats for the month of July. So I read 22 books and a total of 3,703 pages. What did I read in the month of July? So the first book I read in the month of July was Across the Wall by Garth Nix. So this is a book of short stories. It was really fun to read, I really enjoyed it. The first story in the book being one that's related to the Old Kingdom series. And I really liked that series, so I was really happy to read that. Let's move on to the next book. The next 3 books are actually part of a series. So it's a series, for me it was a reread by one of my favourite French authors, Pierre Bottero. So the series is La Quête des Vilaines, and the 3 books in the series are D'un monde à l'autre, Les frontières de glace, and L'île du destin. Next I read Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. This was a very interesting book. Again, I feel like this falls under dystopian, so as I was saying in previous videos, I really got into dystopians, so I really wanted to read more dystopian. Next on the list for dystopian is obviously 1984, but I haven't gotten to that yet. Next I have a list of short stories that I read by Stephen King. I'm not going to give much detail about these, firstly because I can't exactly remember which is which, and because there's a few. Okay, so let's get down to it. Critters Inc., One for the Road, Willa, The Raft, The Jaunt Travel, Blockade Billy, Morality. Then I also read a short story written by Hill and Stephen King called Throttle. And I read Stephen King's book on writing, which was very interesting. I really enjoyed that. Being myself someone who really enjoys writing and been writing for years, so it's really nice to read a book like that and find some interesting tips and tricks and how he himself approaches writing. Let's move on. Next I read The Dead by James Joyce. After that I read Luck by Mark Twain, followed by TBR02B by Kurt Vonnegut. After that I read The Warlock, which is the 5th book in the Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel series by Michael Scott. So I really like this series and I really have to get back to reading it. Like I said for the Heroes of Olympus series, I really need to get back into some of those series that I started a while ago. Next I read Monument 14, so this is the first book in the Monument 14 series by Emmy Leyburn. Next I read Brown Morning by Frank Pavlov. This is a very interesting book. It's very short and very thought-provoking, and I believe it's something that everyone should read. And lastly I read Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. So yeah, that's all the books I read in that month. So what does that say for the total of the stats for the year until the end of July? Well, it brings me up to a total of 72 books and a total of 17,523 pages. So let's move on to the Race to New Year readathon and my progress. So as I'm filming this early in the morning, I have read nothing since the previous video that I filmed. I've slept all morning basically. Well, I slept up till now since the previous video pretty much. I'm hoping to put part 8 for this wrap-up series up in the next 24 hours, meaning before tomorrow's video, which will then be September. If that doesn't happen, well then it'll just go on, as I said last time, normal schedule. I'll see you tomorrow, have a great day, bye.